Hey everybody, I am here today with a math lesson for you. We've done a lot of different things with math, but we haven't worked on word problems, so that's what we're going to do today. Word problems are one of the hardest things that you're going to have to do. And guess what? You're going to have to do them in second grade, and third grade, and fourth grade, and probably all the way through school. So as long as you're doing math, you're going to have to do word problems. So we're going to start just reviewing some of the stuff that we've already done. This is what's, if you go to my school, this is what's in your packet for this week. I will probably do another video on this maybe Wednesday. So if you have any questions on this, please let me know, let your teacher know, so that we can help you with this, because word problems are hard. All right, so that said, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, you will need paper, pencil, whiteboard marker, something today. All right, so that's why I've got my whiteboard. Now, when we do word problems, normally we have the problem and we can like circle our numbers so we don't forget them, those kinds of things. You guys don't have that right now. So this is why it's going to be really important that we use our boards with our 4 boxes. Now, if you have not learned this way, please stick around because I think it's super helpful. So we call this the read, draw, write method. So the first box right here is for our important information, the things that we read in our sentence, in our story, and we can put it here so we don't forget it. Here's where we're going to draw some kind of a picture. Here's where we're going to put our number sentence, and then finally here is where we are going to do our statement of solution. I don't know why that was so hard to think of, but it's basically just the answer to the question. So go ahead, get your paper looking like this, get your whiteboard looking like this, and I will pull up our first question. Okay, so let's read this together, okay? Rose wrote 8 letters to her friends. How many letters did Rose write? 8. So, like in my class, I will often have you guys, maybe, oh, there we go. Circle, oh gosh, okay. Circle your number because it helps us see that number. And then I have you box your unit. The unit is the thing that we are counting. So did she write 8 stinky socks? 8 cats? What was it? 8 what? Letters. So we can put the word letters in a box just so that we remember what it is that we are counting, okay? So let's keep reading. Her goal is to write 12 letters. What's her goal? 12 is our number. 12. And letters is still the thing that we're counting, right? She's still writing letters. She hasn't changed her mind to write books yet. Oh gosh, sorry, that went kind of wonky. Okay, let's keep reading. How many more letters does she need to write to meet her goal? So this is our question. So we are going to underline that. Now, some of you guys might recognize that this is similar to the cubes method, and it is, but I just pull parts of it out because I think first graders especially just need that extra kind of visual support when they're doing this, because word problems are really hard. So here's our question. How many more letters does she need to write? Now, when I'm solving this, I'm thinking about parts and wholes, right? we go part, part, whole, part plus part equals whole, whole minus part equals part. So I need to ask myself, is she trying to make a whole out of these two parts? Oh, let me make myself. Okay. Is she trying to make a whole out of these two parts? Or is she trying to get to the whole from one of the parts? So that's what I need to really think about while I'm answering this. So in my first box, okay, we are going to write our important information. That's our numbers. So she wrote 8 letters. Okay. She wants to write, her goal is to write 12 letters. Okay. So this is the information that they gave us. This is where we got to do our thinking. Okay. So I'm going to make myself big. How many more letters? That word more tells me that she's not trying to put these two pieces together. One of these is our whole, and she needs to go from one part to the other part. Okay, so our whole is always our biggest number. So since I know that one of these is my whole, which one's my whole? 12, because 12 is my biggest number. So if I draw my number bond, it's going to look like this. Okay, now for those of you not in my class, I do number bonds like this, where where my whole is always a circle and my two parts are squares, because they just help tell the difference between them a little bit easier. So I need to figure out how many more letters. So this is what our important information box should look like. If yours does not look like that, go ahead, push pause, make it look like this, okay? If it does look like this, awesome, we're moving on, okay? So then over here, we need to draw a picture. In first grade, we start learning tape diagrams, and tape diagrams are kind of hard. So I'm going to do tape diagrams today. If you don't want to do tape diagrams without me, that's okay. I will show you, I will do 2 drawings, okay? So I've done a little squiggle. We'll have a tape diagram up top, and then we'll have our normal drawing with circles and X's on the bottom. So I know that she has how many letters done? 8. How many letters does she want to write total? So in my tape diagram, I'm going to draw my box, okay? And I'm going to draw my 12 circles in here, all right? I got to erase my circle or my line for a minute. What was my whole? 12. So 12 things need to go in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, I got my 12 circles in there, right? How many does she already have written? If you forgot, look back here where our important information is. She has 8 letters already written. So I'm going to count 8 and draw a line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Draw my line. This is how many are already written. Okay. And this is how many she has left to write. It's important that we label our parts. How many are left to write? Count these circles right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many does she have left to write? Yeah, 4. So I'm just going to put a 4 right there just so I know now. Now I need to write my number sentence, okay? Here we go. If you're in my class, you know this. Oh, I just threw my marker across the room. This is how we do number sentences. So let's do addition first, okay? We go part plus part equals whole. Do that one more time. Part plus part equals whole. If we're doing subtraction, we start with our whole. So we're going to go whole minus part equals part. Do it one more time. Whole minus part equals part. Do you think we need to do addition or subtraction? We can write both of them, right? So let's start with subtraction because we already know what our whole is. I had to retrieve my marker from across the room. So we're going to start with our whole, and this is why I do my number bonds like this. So if you forget, you can draw your shapes. Whole minus part equals part, right? So whole is 12 minus 8 equals, what's our other part? 4. You guys can make an addition sentence with that, right? Part plus part equals whole. So 8 plus 4 equals 12. Then we need to write a sentence to answer the question. So how many letters does she have left to write? Rose needs to write 4 more letters. And sentences should always start with a capital and end with a period. So this is what your 4 boxes should look like every time you do word problems, okay? Parents, you have probably never seen this before. This was really hard for me to get used to, but it helps them get each step of solving the word problem. So have them do this when they're doing these word problems, all right? Let's go to the next problem. Okay, so if we read this, we are going to, you guys don't have the paper in front of you, so we can't circle our numbers. We can't write or box our units. But, let me come back for a second. We can put them in our important information box, right? So Tamara collected 9 seashells on the beach. How many did Tamara collect? 9. So I'm just going to write a T, 9 shells. Okay. Julio collected 11 shells. How many did Julio collect? 11. So I'm going to write a J, 11 shells. That's just my information, all right? So let's go with this first sentence right here. How many more shells, so how many gives me a question mark, more shells did Julio get than Tamara? Okay, so there's all of our important information. Are we asking what the whole is, what Tamara and Julio collected together, or is one of these our whole and we're trying to figure out how many more our whole is than our other part? Yeah, we already know our whole. That would be Julio. So over here, let's draw our box. We know what our hole is, right? 11. Now, if you need to draw the circles in there, by all means draw the circles. So let's draw our 11 circles in there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 circles. Okay, one more important thing. Let me make myself big so that you're not just looking at the itty bitty little picture. When you do this, all of my circles are in a straight line in my box. I do not have circles like this. They need to all be in a straight line like this, okay? This is wrong, this is right. Boo, yay, all right? So make sure that yours looks like that. Now, how many did Tamara collect? Look back at your 9. So we need to draw a after. All right, so count 9 and draw your line. And then we need to make sure that we label it so your number, your tape diagram should look like this, okay? There's 11 whole. How many did Tamara get? 9. How many more did Julio get? 2 more. So let's go ahead and write our number sentence starting with our whole. What is our whole? 11 minus how many did Tamara have? Equals then we need to write a sentence. Julio collected 2 more shells than Tamara. Period. Okay? So we're going to do one more. You guys need to do it and then come back and check your work with me. All right, so let me get there. Okay, this is actually in your packet. So I want you guys to try this one. Now, if you look right here, there's a picture. Just ignore that, okay? Draw your tape diagram the way that we have been, okay? So let's read it together, and then you guys put me on pause, come back and check your work. Peter has 3 goats living on his farm. Julio has 9 goats living on his farm. How many more goats does Julio have than Peter? Go ahead and push pause, take as much time as you need, and then come back and check your work. All right, hopefully you guys got this done. Even if it's wrong, that's okay, because let's check our work. So for box number 1, you should have Peter has 3 goats, Julio has 9 goats, question mark, more goats for Julio. Sorry, my window's given kind of a glare. Here was our picture. We have 9 as our whole. Peter has 3. How many more does Julio have over here? Yeah, 6. So our number sentence, read it to me. 9 minus 3 equals 6. And then read me our sentence to answer the question. How many more goats does Julio have? Julio has 6 more goats than Peter. All right, so again, I said I would do another one like this. This is what's in your packet. Parents, if you don't go to my school or you're not in my class or if this is hard, you can give them tons of word problems like this. Just asking them to figure out, are we putting 2 parts together? Are we trying to find the whole? And then have them use this read, draw, write method so that they get the 4 boxes. The drawing does not have to be the exact same way that I do it. Not every student can visualize that way. So as long as they do some kind of drawing, that's great. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me, reach out to your teacher, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.